I believe that on the one hand, President Yoweri Museveni found it necessary to clip Anita Among's wings because she had grown very powerful.
Oh.
On the other hand,
She had grown more powerful. That's the first point he's mentioning.
Anita Among had consistently argued or told Museveni, I'm very loyal to you. I will never threaten your power. I will support Muhoozi's succession. She had said all these things. And when she said these things, I'm inclined to believe that it's possible she was sincere. I have personally met her because I had similar concerns. She invited me to her home. I went to see her because I had written this article complaining that she has so much power. And she gave me her background and her history. She said she can never ever challenge Museveni because he's the one who made her.
Imagine, how sad should that be? That you have to swear to the acolytes of Museveni, or to even in the face of Museveni, I swear upon the living God, I will never contest you. How sickening is that? How evil? That you cannot tolerate competition. How stupid is that?
Intentions change with time.
Okay.
So right now she may be sincere, but the capabilities and influence she's building in the state and the party may in the future tempt her to seek the presidency and wrestle it from me.
What's the problem with that? Museveni is 85 or 82 years old. What's the problem with Anita Among running for presidency? What Andrew Mwenda is not telling you is they're afraid, the Muhoozi crew, criminal crew, are afraid of people like Anita Among. Because Museveni, who is 82, has been in power for more than 40 years. He still wants to have, he's still in competition with the likes of Anita Among. What's wrong with this country?
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
And yes, indeed. Broadcasting to you from these United States of America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might enjoy this conversation. I am the aforementioned Mordecai Marissa on this, you guessed that right, Mordecai Marissa Live. Let's go! Here we go. And here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. When you hear that beat, you know it is your daily show, 7 a.m. Ugandan time every day. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Happy Friday. And I say happy weekend as well. Are you ready? I guess you are. Let's do this. Why not? Let's do this. Amazing. I immensely appreciate all you guys who watch this conversation or these conversations, or who are usually waking up on this show. Like I said, 7 a.m. Ugandan time every day. How about that? Every day. Talk about consistency. Am I blame my own trumpet? It sounds like so. And it's fine because you make it, you make sure that I do this every day. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about, again, Anita Among. I think Andrew Mwenda let the cat out. As these walls continue to close in on former Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, over these allegations, we should actually say evidence of corruption and illicit enrichment. One of Museveni acolytes, one of Museveni stooges, one of Museveni minion, one of Museveni, obsequious foot soldier and vocal defender, Andrew Mwenda, may have accidentally exposed what this entire operation is really about. Like we've screamed, this is not about corruption. Do not be lied. Do not be deceived. Museveni doesn't care about corruption. Muhoozi doesn't care about corruption. And I'm going to show you here. While appearing at Uganda Broadcasting Corporation's Behind the Headlines political talk show on Wednesday, Andrew Mwenda openly suggested that Among's downfall was triggered not by corruption, no, but by her growing political influence and rising power within Museveni's criminal regime. I'm the one who added criminal because it's a criminal regime. In his words, this is what he said. Museveni felt like she was going to threaten his power over time. Okay? Museveni felt like she was going to threaten his power over time. And just like that, with that line, only one sentence, the mask slipped, you can argue. It tells you everything. This has nothing to do with corruption. Because for several weeks, Ugandans have argued that these dramatic crackdowns had very little to do with fighting corruption and everything to do with eliminating perceived threats to Museveni's criminal regime and his own control and securing Muhoozi's transitional path to power. So Mwenda's remarks now appear to validate those suspicions. They're not suspicions anymore. You can see, every blind person can see this. Because if this was truly about corruption or a genuine war against illicit enrichment, Ugandans, I know you're asking yourself this question, which is very uncomfortable. What about other folks within the Museveni criminal regime accused of bigger scandals? Should I show you one of them? Let me show you here. We got receipts for you. When are we seeing raids on this man's home? When are we getting to have people to audit him, ask him where he's getting all this money? That man, Samuel Kahamba Kutesa. Listen to this report that was done, none other than NBS.
In 1995, Sam Kutesa allegedly undervalued and has shares later sold to himself and the president's brother, Salim Salih. In that
Okay. Kahamba Kutesa is in deal with who? Kaleba Kandwanaho, famously known as Salim Saleh.
specific case, Parliament censured Kutesa, but no action was taken by the
Zero action was taken up after the censure.
executive. In 1997, Sam Kutesa was named by a parliamentary committee for soliciting a bribe between 2 to 6 million US dollars. Now, with the bribe over the sale of Sheraton Hotel, the IGG and a committee of parliament investigated Sam Kutesa, and his co-accused were prosecuted but later acquitted by the Anti-Corruption Court. Action taken, zero. In 1998, a parliament...
Like, this man has a history, and I love how chronological they did this to show you. Has a history of corruption, of stealing. Nobody has ever questioned Sam Kahamba Kutesa. He's always receiving appointments from Museveni. This man, and you tell me, oh, we care about corruption. No. Do you know why? Because Sam Kahamba Kutesa has no interest in becoming president. All he wants is accumulate wealth and fix his life. Remember when he had throat cancer? He flew to Germany and he got first class treatment. And upon his recovery, came back to Uganda. Guess what he did? He constructed a cancer research sort of institute. Do you think he's sponsoring a few students at Makerere or some other school who are pursuing or doing research in cancer, throat cancer especially? No. He constructed a church in a community that has more than 5 churches. It's like, okay, because God loves me, He's given me this gift of life, and I'm going to give back to Him. Let me build him a church. No. This community doesn't want a church. It wants a better healthcare system like you went and attended to. When you fell sick, you didn't go to a church. You went to a hospital in Germany. How about you construct a hospital and equip it with equipment that were used on you when you were sick? Because they don't care.
The parliamentary committee concluded it had been manipulated and taken advantage of by Sam Kutesa and
Obviously.
a few politically powerful people.
Actions taken?
Action taken,
Okay.
zero. In 2000, Sam Kutesa was mentioned in a deal to procure technology intelligent network monitoring stroke verification system, INMS. Now, Kutesa was named in a deal where the Ugandan government lost about $1 million US to supply ballots. Now, Lithotech company with links to Sam Kutesa gets another contract to supply ballots for the local government. Action taken, zero. In 2005, Sam Kutesa was named in the privatization of Uganda Dairy Corporation Limited, UDCL, a deal Rwamirama described as outright robbery. Now, in this specific deal, Smartmatic Inc. connected to Kutesa. However, the PPDA disqualified the company because it did not pass the commercial criteria. Sam Kutesa, however, bypassed the PPDA and got the deal. Action taken, 0. In 2009, Sam Kutesa was mentioned in an election deal worth $15 million to update the voters register. Now, Sam Kutesa, in this specific case, action taken to him,
0. Ladies and gentlemen, this has nothing to do with corruption. It has everything to do with purging Anita Among. Trying to see here. So, this really, where these are, like we've been asking, we've had more than scandals that are bigger than Anita Among's, while some people seem to be untouchables. Where we've seen CID tracks confiscating some of Samuel Kahamba Kutesa's vehicles. When is this happening? No. Amongo's biggest crime was one and will continue to be one on corruption. It is her having presidential ambitions. She was becoming too powerful, she was becoming too visible, and she was becoming extremely, extremely ambitious within the system that tolerates loyalty more than it tolerates competition. If you want to serve Museveni and if you want to be a darling to Museveni, praise him. Tell him he's exceptional. He's this special, wise guy that has never lived on this earth. He's Sabaranyi. He knows the beginning of time, how the world was, life itself started. Give all him those praises. He's going to give you praises. He's going to give you promotions, like we've seen with the likes of Nabanja. You think Nabanja has a dream of becoming not even, she doesn't even believe she's a prime minister. Oh, I think Jira Museveni, after God, you are next to God. She said those words, not mine. They're on video. She says Museveni is deputy God. Her words. Now you understand. So now let's go to Andrew Mwenda. Andrew Mwenda tells you what you need to know. Many of you actually knew, but let's go confirm. Like I said, every time you hear Andrew Mwenda speaking, it is not Andrew Mwenda. That is Muhoozi Kainerugaba. That is Museveni speaking. So listen, because he's in the circles. He's pretty much appointed him so far. They've appointed. He's convinced them that he's smart because of the opposition. He used to oppose them. So they look at him as a voice of reason. He's lost it. So listen to what he says here.
Well, I should put it this way. There has been a convergence of two different but self-reinforcing and compatible aims, pursuits. I believe that on the one hand, President Yoweri Museveni found it necessary to clip Anita Among's wings because she had grown very powerful.
Oh.
On the other hand,
she had grown more powerful. That's the first point he's mentioning.
Put it this way, President Yoweri Museveni found it necessary and was seeking to clip Anita Among's wings because she had amassed a lot of power and influence within both NRM and the government that I suspect, this is me second reading Museveni, he felt she was going to pose a threat to his power over time.
Period. The rest is background noise, what you see them. Oh, now we're confiscating Anita Among's knicker. She bought it in Paris. This knicker is 300 million shillings. So now we are confiscating a cup. This is a special mag that she went and bought through an auction in the UK. These dramatic crackdowns, it's nothing for sure. We love to see that because it exposes us to, oh, this is how much they've stolen. But it doesn't really mean a thing. Because like I said, when are we seeing the same on Sam Kahamba Kutesa? When? 0. But she was becoming a threat to Museveni's power. And now you might argue, hey, Mordecai, Museveni is an old man who's going to be leaving power very soon than later because of biology, why is he threatened? Because Museveni is afraid that if he leaves power, other people might become president and would prefer his son. Now, he won't deliberately or consciously be like, hey, Muhoozi, take over, because he's completely become drunk, too much drunk on power. He cannot think himself outside of power. But he would really like Muhoozi to replace him. So, Anita Among's presidential ambitions is a threat to Muhoozi Kainerugaba, to Museveni by extension to Muhoozi Kainerugaba.
On the other hand, you have General Muhoozi, who is hostile to public corruption, but also public displays of ostentation and luxury.
No, that's a lie. Stop the nonsense. That's a lie. He doesn't really care. Why hasn't he done the same with Sam Kahamba Kutesa? Unless you say he's a jealousy guy because he wrote on his platform and said, oh, why are you driving this car, this vehicle? My dad has never even sat in a Rolls Royce. Who cares? Who cares? I've never sat in a limousine. But I would appreciate to see people having limousine if they genuinely work and earn their money and they're able to buy, if they wanted to buy a limousine or a Bugatti or any kind of a vehicle. I don't care. I don't have to enjoy that particular thing to know that it is good. If people have ways of how they can afford anything, let them go for it. Oh, how can you have this? See? He was threatened because, oh, this person is winning in the field of showbiz. They need to know me. So he doesn't really care.
So the two pursuits converged on one single individual, Anita Among. So let me give you a background. I wrote an article in The Independent on the 21st of March this year, saying the following things about Anita. First of all, she's a highly skilled politician.
Mm-hmm.
She came not from NRM but from FDC, joined NRM in 2021, and she has achieved almost absolute mastery of parliament. If a free and fair election had been held or was held in that parliament today, she would get maybe 485. We had calculated 485 votes.
No. When he says that, in a free and fair election, and these are political prowess of Anita Among, he's speaking from a perverted point of view. What he means is she mastered the politics of Museveni, buying off people and building your own coalitions, of whom you just feed them with money and positions. That's it. He doesn't mean, she's pursued these positions in a very genuine way. No, because she mastered the politics of Museveni and took it to its logical conclusion. Museveni goes somewhere and is like, okay, I'm going to donate 5 million shillings. And when he donates 5 million shillings, then he wins a few people over his side. So Anita Among observed that, say, okay, if Museveni has been able to attract 5 more people as a result of giving out 5 million shillings, how about I give them 20? So she just took the politics of Museveni to its logical conclusion. That's not good politics. He's not trying to say, oh, she's a force to reckon with. Oh, what a charismatic leader. No. What he's trying to say is she mastered the politics of Museveni that is toxic, and she took it to its logical conclusion, period.
Out of 529. So only about 40 to 43 MPs will not vote for her. That is one. Two, because of her role as Speaker of Parliament and therefore chair of the Appointments Committee, she had built a very powerful influence within the judiciary. Hardly could anybody go with a case in the courts and defeat her. Three, Anita Among had built a power base among Ugandan elites in the religious institutions, the mosques and the churches, in the business community, in the professions, and in politics. These ministers, you see, like the Omaras. Omara maybe has a daughter or a nephew. She would use her influence in the parliamentary commission to ensure that they get jobs. And parliament in Uganda is the highest paying institution, more than the private sector. So she was giving people jobs there. And critically, she joins NRM in 2021, and in 2025, 5 years later, she decides to run for national vice chairperson of NRM on the women's ticket against Kadaga. Kadaga had been in NRM since 1989, Kadaga had been speaker for 20 years. 10 years as deputy speaker, 10 years as full speaker. They go neck to neck in the campaign. Now, let me give you a background of how you are elected the National Vice Chairperson, women in NRM. One, you have to have all LC3 chairmen, all LC5 councillors, all LC5 chairmen and chairpersons for that matter. Then you have to have all mayors of town councils, cities, and municipalities. And then you have to have these leagues, the youth league, the women's league, people with disability.
Okay,
Is
thank
Anita
you.
Among capturing the infrastructure of a party called NRM. She beat Kadaga by 93%. The day she beat Kadaga by 93% gave me a signal that Museveni cannot tolerate this. It will be very difficult for Museveni to tolerate a person who has that overwhelming influence in parliament, overwhelming influence in the party, and now he can peer and see in the judiciary, in the elite circles of Uganda. Now, of course,
What he's trying to say right there is using a lot of words to say, if you're close to Museveni, please do not be ambitious. Your ambitions should not supersede that of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Museveni is the worst teacher of all time. A teacher that would like their kids or their students to stay in the same class. Like if Museveni was a high school teacher, he would rather have you fail your USCE examinations. More especially if that teacher didn't pursue a degree or a diploma. So he would rather have you continue repeating the same class over and over again. You're not supposed to be ambitious. It's sad. And then you might be wondering, oh, how about Kadaga? How was she able to defeat Kadaga? Again, Museveni, using his tactic, the Musevenian tactic, he gave both of these two folks money. And he went and observed how they were using this money. Museveni betrayed Kadaga because Kadaga was sort of now trying to tell people, hey, I am the one. Actually, there's a show where she said it. Had it not been me, Museveni would be in Rajtula. That was a threat. Oh, don't you know how egotistical I am? I can actually creep you as well. Had she been silent, quiet, never engaged in anything that would sort of show her influence or even to think that she's an important aspect of Museveni's politics, she would be speaker forever. But the moment she started saying those words, oh, had it not been me, you would be in Rajtula. Okay, Museveni's like, okay, now let me show you I'm a narcissistic, extremely sociopathic dictator.
Anita Among had consistently argued or told Museveni, I'm very loyal to you. I will never threaten your power. I will support Muhoozi's succession. She had said all these things. And when she said these things, I'm inclined to believe that it's possible she was sincere. I have personally met her because I had similar concerns. She invited me to her home. I went to see her because I had written this article complaining that she has so much power. And she gave me her background and her history. She said she can never ever challenge Museveni because he's the one who made her.
Imagine, how sad should that be? That you have to swear to the acolytes of Museveni or to even in the face of Museveni, I swear upon the living God, I will never contest you. How sickening is that? How evil? That you cannot tolerate competition. How stupid is that? Now, the likes of Mwenda have been indoctrinated with Museveni's lies, where they'd be like, his master ideology is a political strategist, he's a smart man. But listen, that's not leadership. If you're not in position to inspire people to want to do the job, that amazing job you have done, you're not a good leader. That's Museveni. Museveni claims to have done a good job in these last 40 years, but he's not willing to tolerate any form of competition. And that's why he's like, okay, of all people in Uganda, Muhoozi Kainerugaba is the best one to replace me. How sickening that a Speaker of Parliament would have to explain herself to Andrew Mwenda. Who is Andrew Mwenda in the grand scheme of things regarding the Museveni government? That she has to reduce herself to a level of pleading to Andrew Mwenda because she knows Andrew Mwenda is in direct direct contact with Museveni and Muhoozi. I will never be president. Please, I'm not a dreamer. I swear upon the living God, I'm not a dreamer. Come on, me? I'm even here by surprise. I can never be. Jeez.
So let me, because me, I'm an easily gullible person, I believe in her sincerity, that she was sincere. But then I put myself in Museveni's shoes. If you're Museveni, you can think or you can say.
What he's trying to say there, she didn't believe her. He went back, he didn't believe her. He went back and told Museveni what he's going to say.
This lady is sincere. She has no premeditated plan to rival or to seek power from me. Then Museveni faces two dilemmas. Dilemma one, first of all, intentions are very difficult to know. People's intentions are difficult to know. She may be lying.
What he's saying, he says, I did not believe her. Oh, intentions of people never, she might be lying. This is Mwenda telling Museveni. I think she lied. We see what she's been. Because he's given a background of how she has amassed all this wealth, has a lot of connections, has built different coalitions within the Museveni criminal empire, and then they'll be like, oh, I went to her home to confirm. Now, come on.
May be genuine. But two, intentions change with time.
Okay.
So right now she may be sincere.
Uh-huh.
But the capabilities and influence she's building in the state and the party may in the future tempt her to seek the presidency and wrestle it from me.
What's the problem with that? Museveni is 85 or 82 years old. What's the problem with Anita Among running for presidency? What Andrew Mwenda is not telling you is they're afraid, the Muhoozi crew, criminal crew, are afraid of people like Anita Among. Because Museveni, who is 82, has been in power for more than 40 years. He still wants to he's still in competition with the likes of Anita Among. What's wrong with this country?
So as a precaution, it is better for me to clip her now.
What the heck?
Even if she doesn't have any plan now, any premeditated plan to seek the presidency, because I don't want to be shocked. Even if there is a 2% chance that in future she will change, rather a 2% chance that she's likely to be a threat, I need to neutralize that threat. I think Museveni...
What's wrong with these people? Like, how do they come to these conclusions and do not realize that this is utter stupidity? Museveni has been in power for 40 years. He rigged an election to extend his consolidation of power for more 5 years, and that will make it 45. But he still wants to be president. That even if someone had 2% chances of running for presidency, I would rather clip them right now. Museveni is not going to be president for life. Oh my God.
Gorilla would think like that. So it became increasingly...
Maybe for life, but not forever.
...imperative for Museveni that this lady's wings should be clipped. What? Now, Anita Among had done one big mistake.
What's that?
Either deliberately or innocently. She had given Museveni a rope to hang her. And I had written this in April 2024. Her ostentatious living, her luxury mansions, her expensive cars and dresses, all those things tended to alienate her in the eyes of the Ugandan public. Ugandan public did not like her.
Who says that? Yeah, we do not like that. But it's pretty much what all Museveni acolytes do. So that's why we say extend the same kind of treatment to other Museveni minions, his ministers. And
there were exhibitions of corruption. Not parliamentary exhibition of the Augusta Twaires, no. I'm saying she exhibited a lot of wealth and affluence and luxury. But that not only revolted many elite Ugandans against her, but it also gave Museveni a rope with which to hang her. So at any one time, I felt she was vulnerable. At one time, I thought maybe Museveni may keep her because she was so vulnerable. He knew he can anytime call upon her financial indiscretions to get even with her. Now,
so why didn't he do that? Because he knew she was vulnerable. She would rain in on her at any given time. Why don't you interrogate why he didn't?
Us human beings as we are made, we are always driven by the personal. People are. I do not think that Anita Among's problem was corruption, because remember that Anita Among did not take money out of parliament necessarily for her personal use. That was a small side effect. Anita Among's use of parliamentary money was actually to build Museveni's political base. In fact, to get Museveni's legislation in the parliament passed. Because I am reliably informed that before Anita Among became Speaker of Parliament, whenever Museveni needed major legislation to go through Parliament, a major action to take place, he would invite these Omaras, these MPs, to State House, give them tea, pay their transport, pay their medical bills, pay their children's fees.
Listen, something that is talked about like it is a normal thing. Oh, you'd invite them, give them tea, give them transport. It's not say he would call them and bribe them. But they think that he's a strategist, master at political science. Oh, but listen to the strategies they're using. Like he says it like it's a normal thing. But listen to what Anita Among did,
Clear their loans, spend a lot of money in order to get the vote. When Anita came in, she said, okay, Museveni, you don't have to do that. Let me handle Parliament for you. You see, the strength of Anita Among, people don't know, is she has excellent interpersonal skills. That is why she's so effective in electoral colleges. And she may not be effective in a presidential campaign where you are elected by anonymous people. Why she was effective in electoral colleges? Because if you meet her and deal with her at a personal level, she's a very generous and people think she was using money, but
she's a very generous and generous in what way? Generous in giving out money. So she said to Museveni, hey, let me handle the parliament for you. I know how you do it. You give them 5 million shillings or 10 million shillings. I'm going to give them 100 million shillings each. Yeah, that's what he means by generosity. He uses a lot of words to hide some things, but we can read between the lines, Andrew Mwenda. You're not fooling anybody.
Effective in electoral colleges because if you meet her and deal with her at a personal level, she's a very generous and people think she was using money, but Among was using 20 to 25% of the money Museveni was using to get.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so
100% of the results Museveni was
yeah,
getting.
but they were both using money, and if Museveni was handling these ministers or members of parliament by giving them money, inviting them at State House, and Anita Among telling Museveni, hey, I will handle this. Are you trying to convince us that when she occupied that position, took on those responsibilities, oh, she wasn't going to give out money? We don't care. We know what you're doing. You betrayed this lady who invited you to her house and told you that, hey, I swear upon the living God, I'm not having intentions of running for president. And you convinced her that you had bought the idea or what she had told you only to betray her, and now you're trying to play smart. Everybody can see what you're doing, Andrew Mwenda. Now, I'm not here to defend this woman, Anita Among. She's a thief. She should be in prison. But I don't like the fact that they're painting her this lone, raven black woman, scary. There are many people like her in the Museveni criminal regime. Go after them. It is impossible because Museveni is a criminal. Muhoozi is a criminal. So you're sending a thief to catch a thief. If this thief catches the other thief, that doesn't mean that this thief that has caught this one is going to stop stealing. So even when they... Okay, do we want to convince ourselves that if a Jacob Oboth or Taibwa become Speaker of the 12th Parliament, any of them is going to serve the interests of Ugandan people? Absolutely not. They're going to be there to serve the interests of one man, a kleptomaniac, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. So it doesn't make any difference. So while I am okay with what I see, because now Ugandans are able to tell, oh my God, this is how much these folks have been stealing from the national coffers, I'm saying, how about the Habakutesa, the Kateshumbwas, and others? Don't buy into these lies. Muhoozi doesn't care about corruption, like zero. Like it would be like the same if Muhoozi Kainerugaba sent his jackbooted thugs to arrest a person for killing or abducting and torturing somebody, yet he gloats in the same. Muhoozi's relatives are products of the sectarianism and corruption in the Museveni criminal regime. When is he launching investigation into that? They do not care. They don't care. So I'm not going to buy all these lies of Andrew Mwenda. And I had a lot of things to play, but this video is becoming longer than I expected. More than 30 minutes. I think I should end it here. Unless you say, Mordecai, we are still enjoying. Please do not touch the dial. Proverbial dial. Oh my. I enjoy that you're still watching. You know, I got a friend of mine, Shaba, of Munayu 256. You're going to go on and subscribe to their feed. He says, Mordecai, I love your music. I love your music. Go on and subscribe to my friends Shaba and Tracy. Amazing, amazing people. So every time I play that music, I'm reminded. Every time I play it, he has to send me a message. Oh, I enjoyed that music. Why do you usually stop it? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this show, consider subscribing. Not just watch. Consider subscribing. Down in the comment section, let me know what you think. And besides that, like this video and invite others to join us. Dude, don't fall for any traps of Museveni. Okay? These are all lies. These are complete lies. They do not have any interest in fighting corruption. Okay, I enjoyed when people told me where they were watching from. Oh my God, you guys are spread all over the world. Now, if you didn't comment on the video where I said hello to folks that told me where they were watching from, let me know. I might be saying hello to you in the next video. Okay? Amazing, amazing. But as I end this video, I want to say thank you so much to all the sponsors of this show. Thank you so much. I immensely appreciate those folks. Those names you see that run at the end of the show are sponsors for this show. They pay 20,000 shillings every month. 20,000 shillings. So if you want to be part of that family, you're going to have to keep watching, because I might open the window once again, because I was looking for 100 people and we made it to 100. I might be adding more 50 people. If you want to be part of that family, keep watching. 20,000 Ugandan shillings. Yep. Because I had a lot of people who say, Monica, I would like to sponsor you. I would like to support your work. How do I do it? Then I said, okay, let me open a platform where people can give a tip. And I immensely appreciate those that are responding to the cry. My name is Mordecai Morisa. I wish you a wonderful time. Bye-bye for now.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.